Now we'll discuss about the data connectivity. As I mentioned, data connection can be done with various different sources. Power BI supports 99 plus data connection, which includes file source, database and cloud services. It is also supports the extracting the data from website as well. If you want to connect an Excel file, you can just go to the Home tab and you can search for Get Data. In the Get Data, you can find an option called Excel. You can just click on that Excel and it will ask you for the particular path where the Excel file is present. You can just select it and you can load it to the Power BI. Once you click on that particular path, it will redirect to the navigator. So this navigator asks you what are the preview of your file. So consider in this particular folder, if you have 4 different worksheets, so it will show you all the different worksheets and it will ask you to preview. So you can preview whichever file that you want to load it and then you can select and then you can load it and or else you can transform the data. So if you click on the load button, it will load it to the Power BI desktop. If you click on transform data, it will redirect to the Power Query editor. Now we'll talk about data connection with Power BI. Once you load the data, you can see on the right side, there is a field option. In this fields, you can view what are the tables that you have loaded. Along with that, you can also view what are the columns that are present in the particular folder. Once you connect the data with Excel, you can have different visual pane. For an example, you have a filter pane, visual pane and as well as field pane. Whereas in the filter pane, if you want to apply any filters, where if you want to filter out the records based on the conditions, you can use filter pane. If you want to visualize your chart, you can go to the visualize pane, where you can create bar chart, line chart, donut chart, scatter plot chart, or else we can create 50 plus connections or 50 plus charts by using the visualization pane. And on the right side, as I discussed, there is a field pane where it will display all the folders or all the tables along with the columns. Once you open the Power BI, on the top you can find the different tabs. What are the various tabs that we have in Power BI? Power BI is also a part of Microsoft. So the interface of the Power BI is as similar as your Excel. On the top we have Home tab, Insert, Modeling, View, Help, Format. For each tab, we have multiple ribbon. You can see on the first ribbon, there is an option called Clipboard, which will help you to cut the visual, copy the visual, format your visual and paste your visual. Next, we come up with data, whereas Power BI allow you to connect 99 plus data connections. It can be structured, unstructured or semi-structured. If you want to connect any of the data, for an example, if you want to connect with Excel file or folder or else PDF or else text file, JSON, XML file, etc. You can go to the get data and you can load the file. Once you have loaded the particular sheet or once you have loaded the particular file, you can visualize it by using the visual pane. Now we will discuss about the chart option. Power BI supports 30 plus default charts and a library of 250 plus charts from the marketplace. But make sure that whenever you are using that 250 plus charts, you want to log into the Power BI account, where in that 250 plus charts, 80 charts types are very freely available and others are purchasable, where you want to purchase, you want to pay some amount and you want to purchase to visualize the different charts. The trial version of Power BI is free. You can get the license version and you can start loading the chart and you can start making the visualization. Once you create multiple charts, you can also create a report or else a dashboard. You can see over here in the screen where we have created very basic chart which consists of category wise sales, which is in the bar chart, and we have order wise what is the percentage of contribution based on the different product. Along with that, you can see the map chart, and also you can see the various visualization. So we'll be talking about all this visualization, and we'll be starting how to create a chart step by step process. Once you create a dashboard, you can start publishing your dashboard. In the home tab or the corner, you can find publish. You can just click on that publish button. It will ask you whether you want to publish it to the workspace or else my workspace. Whereas workspace is nothing but where you start collaborating your work within the organization. You can share your report, or else you can create an row level security. You can ask them to view, or else you can allow them to admin access, or you can allow them as a manager access where they can manage your reports. But when you publish to the my workspace, where you can only access within yourself. My workspace is just like your rough notebook, but workspace is like a record book where you want to properly maintain your workspace. But my workspace is like a rough notebook, only you can access your workspace. So once you published, you will get this success notification. So you can use Power BI Online to see the particular report, and you can share it to the team. So this is how your Power BI Online service looks like, where we have the workspace here and they have already published it. Now we'll go for practical, and we'll start doing the entire process step by step in detail. So once you open your Power BI desktop, this is how the interface of the desktop look like. The first thing you can see on the top left hand side, there is an home tab where you can find how to connect the data from Power BI. Below that, there is an open. If you have already created multiple charts, you can open the files from this particular chart or the visuals. You can just click on this blank report. If you want to create a report from completely scratch, once you open this blank report, as I mentioned, on the top you can see various tabs. We have home tab, insert, model, view, option, help. These are the various tabs that are present in Power BI, same like your Excel. Below that, you can see we have a ribbon of clipboard, data, queries, insert, calculations, etc. Below that, you can see we have three different views in Power BI. On the left hand side, we have report view, we have table view, along with that we have the model view. Whereas report view is used to create a visual charts and graphs or reports or dashboards. Whereas the table view will allow you to view your table, whereas model view is used to make the relationship between the table. In coming videos, I will be explaining you in detail what exactly each different view will help you for. Below that, you can see on the bottom, it is the desktop layout. Along with that, we can see the mobile layout view. This is how the desktop layout view looks like. If you switch to the mobile layout view, this is how the layout looks like. For now, I will use the desktop layout view. You can see we have sheet number 1. This way I can create multiple sheets and I can give the navigation for each sheet. So if you want to rename the particular sheet, you can just double tap on this. You can start renaming the sheet as basic visuals. So you can see here, I have renamed the particular sheet. If you want to create multiple sheet, you can just click on this new page, click on this plus icon. If you want to rename it, you can also right click on this. There's an option called rename. You can just rename this as part 1 and click on enter. This way you can create multiple sheet in Power BI. So I will go back to the visual sheet, that is basic visual. So on the right side we have filter pane, as I discussed, where if you want to perform any filter on your charts, you can perform it. On the right side we have visual pane. In this visual pane you have like 50 plus charts, you can play with it. And we have data pane, whereas in this data pane, whenever if you load the data from different sources, you can see which are the table that has been loaded along with the which are the columns that are present for each table. For example, let me load the particular Excel file. Click on this Excel workbook. So it redirects to the particular path. So it will ask you to select the Excel file. For now, let me select the Amazon sales analysis. So click on this open. It will redirect to the page navigator. So this is your navigator tab. In this navigator tab, it is telling the folder name called Amazon sales analysis, and in that you have the sheet 1. If you just click on this sheet 1, this will give you the preview access. If you are okay with this particular sheet, just select this checkbox and then you have an option called load, transform data and cancel. If you don't want to load it, you can just click on this cancel button. If you want to load this to the Power BI desktop for multiple visuals, you can click on load button. If you want to do some modification to your data, you can redirect to the transform data. That will help you to redirect to the Power Query editor. For now, the data is completely cleaned. I will click on load button. So it will take few seconds to load the sheet to the Power BI desktop. You can see on the right side, the data has been loaded and the name of the sheet is sheet 1. Rather than sheet 1, let me rename this particular sheet. I will right click on this. There is an option called rename. Click on this rename and provide the table name as Amazon sales analysis. If you want to access to this particular file, you can see in the description where I will be pinging this particular sheet in the description. You can start working along with me, along with watching this video. Once you have loaded this particular sheet, if you want to do any basic visuals, you can start selecting any of the visuals in the visualization pane. Let me select the stacked bar chart. Now, for an example, I want to see what is the sales generated in different category. So let me select the category. I will drag it and drop it on y-axis, or else you can check this box, or else you can manually drag and drop it on y-axis. Excel is smart enough, whereas Power BI is also a very smart to select and drag and drop it to the particular pane. We can do the same thing in Excel pivot table as well. Once you have dragged this to the y-axis, it is asking you what should be the x-axis information. So I want to see the sales based on the category. So let me select the sales information. So you can just click on this particular column, or else you can drag and drop it to the x-axis. So this will help me to create a detailed analysis of what is the sales that was generated by different category. You can see we have 3 different category. One is technology, furniture and office supply. In this 3 category, whereas technology has done the highest sales compared to all other category, because the bar of the technology is way bigger compared to other 2 category. If you want to see the particular sales that were generated by technology, you can just hover on top of the bar and you can find the sales that was generated for technology. It is 0.83 million. If you want to display this particular file, or if you want to display this particular number on the particular bar, you can go to this format your visuals and then you can select this data label. that will allow you to display the what is the sales that was generated for different category. So 0.84 million. So this is the simple way of creating the particular charts. Now this way I can create a basic charts. I will go to this pie chart. That stacked column chart has been converted to pie chart. If you want, you can also convert this into bar chart, column chart, etc. If you want to publish it, as I mentioned, in the Home tab, there is an option called Publish. You can click on this Publish button. It will ask you to save your file and save the changes that you have done. If you are okay with these changes, you can click on Save. It will ask for the particular name and where to save this particular file. I can just name it as Sales Analysis. Let me click on Save. Once this is saved, it is redirecting to the publishing your Power BI report to the Power BI service. As I mentioned, we have two information. One is My Workspace and Workspace. So My Workspace is a rough notebook, and your workspace I've already created as Amazon Sales Analysis. You can publish it anywhere that you want. For now, I will be publishing this to My Workspace, and let me click on Select. So it will take few seconds, and then it will give you an success message that the file has been published to the Power BI service. It is very simple, as I mentioned. Thank you.